Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to another segment of TGR's Live on the Wildside. My name's Nick Bockelman, and today I'm joined by our good friend Juan. Juan is a Brazilian porcupine, also known as a prehensile-tailed porcupine. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, please feel free to ask any questions during the duration of the segment. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. And again, so this is Juan right here, a Brazilian porcupine, also known as the prehensile-tailed porcupine. Now, if we look back here, I don't know ways to get to his name. Yeah, that's all good. But just so y'all know, he has he's the only porcupine species, or this genus rather. There are 12 different species, but this one in particular here, this genus of porcupine, are the only ones in the world that actually have a prehensile tail. And what that means is they can use their tail just like another limb, just like he's using his claws right here to grip the peanut, grasp it, and eat it. He can use his tail to grasp branches while he's moving around the trees, and it's actually strong enough to support his entire body weight. Other animals that have this trait would be like the North American possum, different monkeys that live throughout South America, like the spider monkeys and capuchins. They also had prehensile tails. Now, these animals right here, the reason they've evolved this prehensile tail is because they are arboreal, strictly arboreal. And what that means is this animal here lives his entire life in the trees. Now, they do venture to the forest floor to find food. Yeah, but he's always in the trees otherwise, which is why they've evolved that prehensile tail. So you can find these guys, their name suggests, in Brazil. They are South American. They are found in the tropical rainforests of South America. So Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Bolivia, Venezuela, different areas like that. And they're generally found in old growth forests. Now, by nature, they are nocturnal. So they come out at night to forage. They will feed on tree bark, different shoots, leaves, vegetation. They'll eat fruits and nuts, things of that nature. They are herbivores, so they do not consume any meat or anything like that. Here, Juan, come over here, buddy. Is that looking good? All right. Oh yeah, so there's his awesome prehensile tail. You see, he's got this, one of my favorite features of Juan right here is his big old mushy marshmallow nose. So these animals, like I said, they are nocturnal. So what they're going to do when he's going around foraging, the way he stays alert is, one, he has a great sense of smell right here. He's got that big old nose. They also have sufficient hearing. Their ears are rather small, but they do have good hearing. And of course, he's got these long whiskers on his face to feel around. Also, if you look here, another interesting attribute is he's got these whiskers right here, even on his leg right here. So they're not just on the face, they're on his legs as well. So that helps him feel around at night as he is foraging for food.
So here's his diet.
Yes, like I said, in the wild, these guys are going to get branches, bark.
So you can see his tail.
Yeah. Is that not good enough, Juan? What about... Hey, Juan, buddy. Yeah, there we go. A little mango action right there, nice and sweet. And see, as he's using his tail back there for extra balance. There he goes. So during the day, these animals here are going to be up in the canopy. Now, preferably they'd like to be sleeping in a hollowed out portion of a tree, but if that doesn't work, then a nice cluster of branches or anywhere where they fork off is a nice place to lay for the day and sleep until they come out at night to forage or even find a mate. So these animals here will breed year-round, and once the female and male copulate, the gestation period is around 200 days. The female usually give birth to just one baby at a time. No apple? How about a sweet potato?
Hello, Cheryl from Colorado. Hi, Jackie. She's up north of Austin in Lago Vista. And hello to Julie's dad and stepmom.
Oh, hey.
It's the Meekles.
Julie's one of my favorite keepers here. There we go, banana, something sweet.
Does anyone have any questions for Nick regarding this porcupine? So far you guys have seen the Indian crested Nick showed you last week. A couple weeks ago, you met Pickles, the North American porcupine. All three of them are different.
Yeah, these guys, probably one of the more unique ones, especially because of that prehensile tail and also their facial features. He's just got that amazing nose. And if we're looking at his teeth right here, another interesting thing to note is that you'll see his teeth are rather orange. Now this isn't because Juan can't brush his teeth. This is because, well, one, he's a rodent, and so a lot of rodents, they'll have extra iron in their teeth, and so that helps their teeth to be more sturdy, more strong, because these guys don't just use their teeth for feeding, they also use it to...
You want to see his orange teeth now that I got good light.
There we go. Yeah. So they're not just going to use their teeth for chewing up food, but they're also going to use them to chew up different types of debris so they can make nesting material and things of that nature. Also, most rodents, but not all, but most rodents, their front teeth never stop growing, so they do have to chew on very durable surfaces to help file down those front teeth because they will not stop growing.
Okay, Annabelle from Spring, her question, she asked, what makes him shoot his spines?
So they do not shoot their quills. That is a misconception. So no porcupine species, not just Juan, but all porcupine species, none of them shoot out their quills. What would happen is, if a predator was foolish enough to try and attack Juan, he would show them his back and these quills would flare up. And if that animal actually made physical contact with him, it's a great good, oh yeah. Then if they actually touch him, then the quills will dislodge and be embedded in the skin. And these quills are very amazing. So if we were to look at them under a microscope, they do have these tiny barbs. And just to give you a frame of reference, if we were to take one of these quills out, the last 4 millimeters of the quill can have anywhere from 700 to 800 barbs that go around the quill. And that makes it to where the quill is it's much easier for them to penetrate the flesh of a potential predator. And also makes it more difficult for them to come out.
For those just joining us, will you tell everyone again what Juan is?
So Juan right here is a Brazilian porcupine, also known as the prehensile-tailed porcupine. They're from the tropical rainforests of South America, so Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, places like that. They are herbivorous animals, so they eat nothing but vegetation. They are nocturnal by nature, so they come up at night to forage and find mates. And they're also arboreal, so they live their entire lives, or the majority of their lives rather, in the trees, which is why they've evolved this amazing prehensile tail. These animals are decent size. Adults from the tip of the snout to right where the tail begins will usually be around 2 feet in length, and then the tail adds an additional 15 inches to their total length. So they are decently sized animals. No, that's not sweet enough. Let's see.
See him holding on with the tip of his tail and leaning out?
Oh yeah, and so they'll do that in the wild when he's foraging in the trees for different foods.
Hi Donna, hi Jen, thanks for joining today.
They're saying, so these guys right here, they'll usually give birth to one baby at a time. The gestation period's around 200 days. They breed year-round. And that baby does have quills, but they're just not fully developed yet when they're born. And the baby will stay with mom for about 10 to 15 weeks. Now, these animals reach sexual maturity when they're about 19 months old. So at about 19 months is when they're mature and they can start reproducing themselves.
He does eat his beets. That's what he's eating right now, a beet.
Oh,
he says, oh, you caught me, I dropped it.
Yeah. Set a good example for the kids. Eat your veggies.
He says, no beet.
He's on camera now. That's the only reason he's not
Jinxed
eating it.
himself.
Let's see. What about a carrot, good buddy?
So what would you say is favorite things to eat?
Oh, he loves peanuts. Peanuts are one of his favorite foods. He also loves grapes, mango. He can be a bratty kid. He likes sweet stuff.
Hi, Brittany, joining us from Kingwood. Hi, Lisa.
So these animals right here, Juan, the Brazilian prehensile-tailed porcupine, they are generally solitary by nature, though they will put up with other animals. They will, or rather, they will put up with other Brazilian porcupines to an extent. Now, females and males are monogamous, though the male doesn't help the female when it comes to rearing the young They don't forage together. They don't really hang out. They just come together when it comes time to mate. And after that, he keeps his distance while she watches over the baby. Now, interesting thing though about the male, and this is don't try this at home here. This is not what you want to do. This is only for porcupines. But the male will actually mark the female and the young with scent. He'll actually use his urine to mark both the female and the young, saying these are his. And they also have a gland at the base of the tail, which they will use to mark their territories. They have a particular scent that comes out of that, and that'll mark their territory where they live.
So he's still inside right now. He is an animal just like the sloths and the tamandua that you've already seen previously that need to be in a heated building for the winter. So he actually will be moving outside soon once we have consistent overnight time temperatures of, in the 70s. And he will live outside, and Pickles, the North American, will come inside for the summer. This is not an air-conditioned building, it's just heated. Any questions for Nick?
Yeah, cool thing you guys will notice, if you look at the quills, it's hard to see, but they get this yellowish tint to them at the base. Really beautiful animal.
He's more nosy.
And just look at how many quills he has. It's a phenomenal amount. I'd say probably this guy right here in total has around 30,000 quills, at least.
And they shed them.
Yeah.
All the time. We find them on the ground. So all the porcupines shed their quills because they're here just like ours. The sky has opened up. It's raining. That's why we chose an inside animal today. Yesterday, the kidna was so fun outside in the yard running around.
Yeah, Juan's fun. His good old marshmallow nose. That nose is just as pudgy and soft as it looks. He said, "Don't touch my nose. That's not for the camera."
Does anyone have any questions for Nick?
Hey, look at his hands. He's got amazing dexterity with his hands, and that's going to help not only with climbing in the trees, but also grabbing a hold of different foods he will take. So he'll hold on with his prehensile tail, and he'll be able to stand on his hind legs and then use these right here to reach out. And just like he's grabbing that apple, he could grab a fruit or a cluster of leaves, anything like that. And they also make really adorable noises. An interesting thing, so the mating behavior of these animals right here, it's not really well understood, but one behavior that has been noted is that females and males tend to rub their noses together, which is rather adorable. And they say they do a sort of dance, so I don't exactly know what that looks like. I have yet to see it. But they do, like I said, females and males, when they come together, they like to rub noses with each other. Absolutely adorable. There you go, buddy. Here's another apple. Apple's the last sweet thing. It does have a watermelon, but that's not so sweet. You get milky orange teeth, which have to do with that high concentration of iron. Makes them more durable.
And all porcupines use their hands to eat with, whether it's holding it like he does and Pickles does. That Indian crested, they're laying down on the ground, but they are always holding their food when they eat.
That makes them extra adorable.
With the rain, you can't really hear smacking and enjoying his food.
Hey, buddy, what about wiping his mouth off? He's a gentleman. He doesn't have a napkin, so gotta use something.
So thanks everyone for joining us. Most of y'all, I've seen a lot of new names today and old names. We appreciate you coming back. But for new people, I reposted on our Facebook page ways you can help. There's a recycle and donate list. It has a cute picture of a monkey playing with a toy. So that's a recycle and donate list. There's a produce list on there as well. And then other ways you can help monetarily, like Venmo, PayPal. We also have a GoFundMe page to help us take care of these animals right now because we're not open, so we are not generating any income, and that's what we have to help take care of everyone. And then we also have a YouTube page, which is also got posted again to our Facebook page, a link. You can go to that. There's all kinds of fun videos. So again, the replays of all the things you've seen here of Live on the Wild Side, but also some fun videos that we've had just from in the past. But if you can subscribe and watch them, over time, we need to get a bunch of hours logged in, and then we'll finally be able to get ads and maybe make some money off all these videos. That, again, will help us pay for things here and didn't cost us anything, doesn't cost you anything. And right now, a lot of people do have a lot of time, more than normal.
Yeah, so if you don't have, well, you have a Facebook, you're watching this right now, but if you have a friend that doesn't have a Facebook, it's TGR Exotics Wildlife Park.
He scratches himself with his tail. It's so cute.
That's good.
See, he's scratching his itches with his tail. He's scratching his back. It's so cute.
Oh yeah. That prehensile tail has
So
many
funny.
different uses.
Yeah, see, he's scratching himself, scratching his itches.
And see, if he felt threatened at the moment, then all of his quills will be flared up like these are on the back. Though he's just doing that so he can get to the right spot to scratch his itch.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for joining us today. He's like, I have a serious itch back there. Oh. That's always fun. Mary, where are you located that you say you're not in the States?
Watermelon now, huh?
What are the male and female porcupines called? Asked Angela.
Ah, very good. That's actually a good question. So the males are actually referred to as boars, and the females are sows.
Oh, just like a pig.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And they're actually, so you cannot tell the difference between a male and female just by looking at them. All of their genitalia and whatnot is internal. So you would have to either be rather invasive when they're more mature, or you could take a quill and get a DNA sample, though that's not exactly an easy thing to do. So those are the ways you distinguish them. But yes, males are boars and females are referred to as sows.
So he's enjoying this rainy day. They like the warm, humid weather like in a rainforest.
Oh yeah, and he's hanging up high. That's his favorite spot. Anywhere high up is where he wants to be.
Any last questions for Nick before we get off for today? He's like, I've eaten, I'm going to groom myself now.
Yeah. Alright guys, well, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. for another episode of Live on the Wild Side. We thank you all for joining us today. Greatly appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bye.